Tell you what, forget power, forget heart rate, all these things. Rate of perceived exertion, how you feel on the bike. It is the main thing. I've just got back from a ride, you can probably tell. And I want to follow on from the previous video where I did the 50-mile time trial on the weekend. And I want to talk a little bit about my fitness, which sounds a little bit like selfish, but I need to like give you a bit of context, because do you remember, like, it seems like years ago, but at the start of this year when I was coming back from illness, my FTP was like 305 or something, and like now it's like 360. But I briefly spoke about my like feelings on the weekend and how my fitness feels like so far away from where it was then. And you know, it's taken like countless hours of riding, it's taken like a number of intervals, it's taken like, you know, well, just consistency and keeping on top of things and just trying to get back to, you know, where I was, which was like 380 watt FTP, give or take. But I wanted to talk about time to exhaustion. I wanted to talk about what that ride on Sunday did to my numbers and to my mindset now, my motivation, and how I feel. And after this ride today, I'm even breaking my own rule. Like, I'm supposed to like get out of kit straight away, but I'm breaking my own rule to record this video right now because I need to express how I feel. So I'm going to keep this video short and sweet. And I didn't know what to title it, something like I'm the fittest I've ever been. I really don't know how else to title it. And I'm going to go into a little bit of detail, but please bear with me, okay? It's not all going to be geeky. I just want to explain a little bit about how I've got to where I am and like how long it's taken me. Now, obviously those of you that have been following since I got ill, like at Christmas, it's been like 6 months of like structured training, almost 5-6 months. And we're back to like not the same FTP level. Like well, although I haven't tested, so bear with me, that could be wrong. But in terms of modeled FTP, and I'm using WKO to model this, if you're wondering, my FTP was 383 modeled at my all-time best ever, which was October 2019 and August to October 2020. So that was when I was in my best physical shape regarding that number. Now that kind of ties in with a lot of like my best results, obviously, but also if we look at my time to exhaustion basically explained is the maximum duration of which power equal to modeled FTP can be maintained. This metric gives insight into an athlete's resistance to fatigue in threshold level performance while providing additional insights to better demonstrate functional threshold power. TTE has now been implemented in WKO and is an excellent addition to the already powerful combination of tracking and performance metrics, adding insight into the tracking of athletes' ability to perform at threshold. Therefore, to understand TTE, we need to revisit functional threshold power. At the moment, I am sitting at a modeled FTP of 360, which is obviously lower, but my time to exhaustion is 55 minutes 59 seconds. Now then, in order to get context on this, and the reason why I say I'm the fittest I might ever be, is if we look at my best ever model time to exhaustion, it came in the months of June, July, and almost August of 2019, where I was in my best shape racing and training just before the Tour of Britain UCI race in the UK. Well, it's obviously in the UK, it's the Tour of Britain. But my model FTP then was 250. My time to exhaustion, however, was around the 1 hour mark. The difference between then and now was that I was doing road races, and at the minute I'm doing time trials. How does that change things? Well, time trials are more steady state efforts, and road races are more kind of irregular, erratic efforts unless you find yourself in a breakaway. It is likely that my time to exhaustion has increased, or at least become more accurately tracked, because I've been doing these longer time trials. What's incredible now is that not only does the data tell us this, but my body and my sensations tell me this. And it's important that no matter what the data tells you, should always be used as like almost like a secondary thing. Like the way you feel should be like the biggest piece of the puzzle. If I'm feeling really good and the numbers are good, then all is good. I wanted to just put this video out there because obviously it's been a long, like 6 months, and you know, if you've been following along, or even if you haven't been following along, this is the first video you've seen since then, since the start of the year. Like, this is where I am now. Like, through consistency and through steady progressive training and building up to, you know, big goals and things like that, it doesn't actually take that long. Okay, like, I've had messages from people recently saying, how long does it take me to get back from this, that, and the next thing? It's like 6 months. It's not that long. You've got time. It's okay. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. But what's next? Well, what's next is for me to test now. Because today, I went out and I did a steady ride with Anthony. And in the first 25 minutes of the ride, I did a 325 watt effort, which is middle ground sweet spot. Then, in the final 30 minutes of this 2.5 hour ride, I did another 30 minutes or 25 minutes at the same power. I felt better in the second one than the first one, not gonna lie. To be able to do that and have a lower heart rate and to feel better, there's things that are happening. There's signal changes. Potentially, there's a 15-mile time trial this week, Thursday night, that I might do, which would be a perfect test because it'll be about 33 minutes. And that's where my usual time to exhaustion ends up. So if I do a 33-minute, 15-mile time trial, that could give us a pretty accurate number. Obviously, time to exhaustion would drop if that is the case. If that is the case, my FTP will increase. By how much? I don't know. The idea is now that I think I have a solid, probably the best ever, possibly, solid foundation I've ever had by doing the sweet spot work I've been doing, the tempo work I've been doing under fatigue, the threshold work I've been doing on its own in like 16 to 20 minute chunks with short recoveries. Plus, I've also been doing these long time trials, like super long, like 50-mile time trial, and then riding home after it, basically pumped my time to exhaustion from 44 minutes to 55 minutes. Because I just pushed that curve, pushed it out. The power curve, you just push it out. Say goodbye, keep going. How far can you go? That's why I was empty after that ride in that last video. That's why I was empty, because I'd set new benchmarks way past where that power curve had put me. And because of all the feedback I'm getting from myself, it feels right. So, let's test. Let's see where we are. It's exciting because I will likely go into, I mean, time calls for it now because of the things I'm going to be doing hill climbing wise. We'll push into a bit of a above threshold, some intensive VO2 max work, very short space of time but very intense, and see how much we can push. It's exciting. It's exciting. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. Little update. Hope you got something out of it. Thanks for following the journey, and see you in the next one.